the video you have been asking me for. Here's my full review of my Glock 43X MOS build. Quick side note, because I know I have to say it, I would love to see this channel and community grow, but I really need your help. Man, I hate being this guy, but if you can help me out and share this around, that would be awesome. If you do that, thank you so much. So this gun has been in the making for a couple of months now, and I'm happy to say I'm almost done with it. The last two things I would consider would be a mag well and replacing the 507K with an ARM RCC. But as of right now, I'm not going to worry about those things, so I can focus on a couple other builds I'm working on. But jumping right into all the upgrades, I'll be sure to link them somewhere because unfortunately, as of right now, kit.co, the site I was previously using to link all my builds, now no longer allows you to link from gun websites. So that's a bummer, but for this build, I do have almost all of the parts linked on there. Full disclosure on this, I do have an affiliate account set up with Amazon, so anything you order from there using my links will give me a small commission on your purchase. It doesn't add any cost to you, it just gives me a portion of what you would have paid to Amazon anyway. I'll always be honest about my thoughts here though, and I never want you to feel pressured to buy something because I did. Just know these are products I purchased because I genuinely researched it and loved it. I also thought it'd be cool for you to see how much it would cost to build this exact 43X, so I'll include a build list in the description below. Just the parts will be linked in my kit and not below. It's just going to be a list showing all the parts I bought and what it would cost you. So starting on the slide here, there are only 4 things I added: the CHPWS adapter plate, the XS Sight DXT2 big dot irons, a Silencerco threaded barrel, and again the Holosun 507K. I have a whole video on the Holosun, so feel free to check that out, and so far I still think it's one of the best dots for the price. I have noticed a few things that are slightly annoying, but the pros definitely outweigh the cons. Some of the cons are that it gets dusty, which all dots do. Their logos are everywhere, which I wish they weren't, and there's sometimes a reflection of the actual laser. If you're holding it at the right angle, it can throw you off, but it only shows when you're shooting into harsh light, such as when you're angled directly into the sun or just a bright light. So it's really not something I'm concerned about. As of right now, and I've been shooting this for a long time, it's held zero incredibly well, and the battery is still going strong. It's been about 6 months, which makes sense because they say it should go for much longer, so we'll see when it actually dies. But I change the battery every year anyway, so. The CHPWS adapter plate has been great, and it looks great even though it sits under there, you don't really see it. No complaints, the company is really awesome. They shipped it to me super fast, and they're also available on Amazon, so that's convenient. They're overall just a pretty good company, they make some great stuff. These new big dot irons are really cool, and I'm a huge fan of their build quality and the design. XS Sights really did a great job with these, and I went with the yellow dot so I didn't get mixed up with my Holosun's red dot, and I was thinking that the yellow was going to glow yellow, but it actually glows green in the dark, and I'm stoked on that because that's exactly what I wanted. I can definitely recommend these. They are one of the few companies that makes a solid tritium sight for the 43X. Moving to the internals here, I have switched out everything that comes in Johnny Glock's trigger kit, and it's freaking incredible. I'm convinced it's the best trigger system on the market right now for the Glock. There's just absolutely incredible thought, passion, and precision that went into creating these, and it shows. When I heard about who Johnny Glock was, I was instantly intrigued with him. Just to give you a basic idea of who Johnny is if you didn't know, this man's a Glock master. His whole mission is to perfect stock Glock parts, design his own high quality parts, and educate people on safety, Glock diagnostics, advanced armor techniques, carry tips, and a ton more. So make sure you check him out because there's a lot to learn and great products to buy. He's even got a YouTube channel. Anyway, if that doesn't put into perspective my opinion of this trigger system, I'll just tell you, it is absolutely, in my opinion, the best on the market as of 2022. The finger safety is solid, and it literally bounces right back into place. It's not like squishy, it feels really solid. The actual take up to the wall is as safe as possible while still being extremely small. Sitting on the wall, it's defined, solid, and it's really easy to sit on. The brake is just as clean as can be. The brake weight is said to be around 4 pounds. I don't have a way to measure that, but there are a ton of other videos confirming the truth of that statement. There is zero over travel, which is where after the slide cycles, your trigger will move back another 1/8 inch. And with this trigger system, it doesn't move at all. And the reset is short, fast, solid, and aggressive. Here's a couple examples just so you can see how good it sounds. There is a pattern carved into the flat face of the trigger that grips onto your finger, and it reduces slipping if you get sweaty hands or you're shooting in the hot summer sun, which I do a lot. I really love this feature, and I've never seen it on another Glock trigger. As for the physical modifications and enhancements, I'm going to take this straight from their website because it really couldn't be put better. What Johnny does here is take OEM Glock parts and literally makes them 50 times better. So this is what the site says. Mechanically, the trigger bar is smoothed and deburred of any tooling. Then it is re-edged and re-80sed with a proprietary method consistent for defensive application. Several other modifications and enhancements are performed on the trigger bar to maximize the ultra-smooth drag-free movement of the bar over polymer and metal parts. The trigger shoe and trigger housing's adjustable set screws are 18-10 stainless steel, tip ground polished, and Loctite seized. Also, the trigger housing has several proprietary enhancements to ensure smooth, friction-free action. The trigger safety tab protrusion is flushed to match the trigger shoe surface, relieving trigger finger bite. The connector is reworked, re-edged, and uniquely angled, creating all the distinctive traits of this particular system's break, feel, and reset action. The firing pin safety plunger and reduced power spring is modified and enhanced for smoother disengagement action. All these parts are designed to work in concert and mated specifically to one another to create an extraordinary defensive trigger system." End quote. So yeah, it's pretty insane. If you purchase the full system, which is the shoe plus the striker, then it comes with all of the upgrades just listed in the bundle. 100% worth the money. So if you're looking for a new trigger, just trust me and get the best. I can honestly say I really don't think you'll be disappointed. I've looked into quite a few barrels and there are tons of great ones on the market, but in my opinion, Silencerco makes one of the least expensive, best quality barrels on the market. So far it's run beautifully and the coatings are solid. I have had zero issues with this barrel so far, and I'm really satisfied with it for the price. Moving to the grip, we have a rubber Talon Grip. I honestly love these. I put them on all my builds. I did upgrade the mag button to the Shield Arms metal button. It's really well made and it feels great, and I went with the metal version because of Shield's mags, which are also metal. Next up, we have the Shield Arms S15 mags. Now there's quite a bit of controversy with using these mags as a combat carry option, and I completely understand why people think that, as even I myself have experienced quite a few issues with them. But I do want to make sure I acknowledge how willing Shield Arms customer service is when it comes to assisting and making sure you are satisfied with their products. I have reached out to them about the issues I've experienced, and they're very active in working to make sure things work how they are supposed to, and if not, making sure things are fair. At the end of the day, the problem is there are fatal flaws in the design of these mags I've recently become aware of, which is why I will no longer carry them in my EDC. But I do look forward to a version 3 of the mag, which hopefully will address the flaws of its original design. For now, I will be carrying with the stock OEM mags, as I've never experienced any reliability issues with them. And you should carry what you trust. If the Shield mags work in your gun, that's awesome, and I'm freaking jealous. But if they don't, I would seriously consider switching back over to OEM. I personally wish so badly that this wasn't the case, because I absolutely love the idea of the product, and there's a huge need for a higher capacity magazine within the slimline Glock family. So Shield, I really hope you take this into consideration as you move forward with a more solid and foolproof design. I am now looking at new options for the OEM mags, which will allow me to carry more than 10 rounds, but so far the only two manufacturers I can find who make an extension to the OEM Glock mags are Tyrant Designs and the Glockstore.com. They are both a +4 extension, which I'm sure is more reliable than Shield's mags, but I haven't tried either of them for the 43X mags. I did, however, pick up two of the Tyrant Designs +5 extensions for my Glock 45, and I've run them for about a year now with 0 malfunctions. So I know for a fact they work incredibly well in the Glock 17 mags, but I'll keep you updated on which brand I decide to go with and how they perform on this particular build. I think right now I'm leaning towards the look of Glock stores, because they kind of look like Shield's mags. If any manufacturer is listening to this, I'm telling you guys right now, there's a huge market for an aesthetically pleasing +5 extension for the OEM 43X Glock mags. It's a huge opportunity missed if you own the equipment and aren't making this product. As for the light, we have the TLR7 sub, which is a great bright light with awesome buttons, and I've never had an issue with it so far. It pushes 500 lumens, 5000 candela, it's IPX7 waterproof at 1 meter for 30 minutes. Takes these CR123A batteries that have about an hour and a half runtime, and I have just been throwing in the Surefire rechargeable batteries and it works just fine. But somebody let me know if I'm gonna blow up my light, but so far there's no issues. Because it's the same battery, but it's just like a little bit higher voltage. So let me know. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the throw and the build quality, everything you should expect from a Streamlight. Oh, you guys, you have, if you're not shooting suppressed, we gotta get you shooting suppressed. You know what I'm saying? It's super fun. You should go and buy a suppressor. So with the Omega 9K, shooting this thing suppressed is just so much fun. The recoil is low, obviously. The overall feel is just wonderful. I'm planning to make a video to convince you to join the Stamp Gang. Suppressed is so much better. And really, it's not that hard to get approved. Of course, unless you live in a communist state. Sorry, guys. I do want to shamelessly plug one of my good friends who I put all my suppressors through. Two solid guys, Joe and Nate, started a company called Rocky Mountain Rifle. They are an SOT FFL. If you're local to Utah, Joe can hook you up and walk you through the entire process, either by phone or in person, to getting either your first can or one to add to your collection. He does use ATF e-forms and Silencer Shop's kiosks, so everything is streamlined and super easy. He also stays on top of when your can's actually approved, so you're able to get it faster instead of having it be the last thing on a business's mind at a random gun store. Along with suppressors, they can also order you new guns or parts, so they really are a solid full package deal. If you're interested, I can get you in touch with him, or you can send him an email at rockymountainrifle@gmail.com, and I'll make sure to leave that email below. Thanks, Joe, for always hooking me up, man. To tie it all together, we have the Tier 1 Concealed Access Elite. I did talk about this a little in my P365 versus 43X video, but basically it's a great holster that's just missing a few features for me. I have been talking to Black Arch and they are working on a very solid holster for this same setup. They're just perfecting it and I'm super excited because I used their holsters originally for a long time and have always loved them. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this new setup does when I can get my hands on it. Now, overall, my thoughts on this build, simply put, are I'm extremely happy with its capability on the range, reliability, upgradability, and concealability. It's really just a gun full of abilities. It's probably going to be a while before I switch to anything else. I just love the way it shoots. I love the confidence that comes from training with it. I just feel like I can trust it to do the job, and that's what really matters most, right? I just think it's so cool that Glock made a gun that really just checks all of my boxes. If there's anything you want me to go in depth on this build, leave it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.